always thought it would never be me. I would never be dumb enough to fall for a MLM, but these people are sneaky, let me tell you. I recently saw a story time going around about a girl who was, I think, in a thrift store, and someone walked up to her complimenting her shoes, and then it ended up that they were part of the Amway MLM, and it's time to share my story. It's been enough time. So my boyfriend and I were in Target looking in the protein section, and this guy comes up to us and he's like, "Oh man, I love your tattoos," complimenting my boyfriend's tattoos. And he's like, "I just moved to the area. What tattoo shop do you go to? You know, I'm looking to get some more," stuff like that. So we get to talking. He had just moved down from New York with his wife, who was an anthropology major, which is what I am. And I was like, no way, no one is ever an anthropology major. So we were like, oh my gosh, did we just make a friend? It is so hard to make friends as adults, and we just made one. Oh my gosh. So we exchanged numbers. We were gonna meet up. I was gonna meet his wife. It was gonna be so fun. We did meet up. We got dinner. It was fine. It was just like a friendly little meetup conversation, whatever. It was great. And then he was like, "Oh, since we just moved into our place, we're gonna be having a housewarming party this day, you know. It'll just be something chill." I think he said that like his brother was coming and his brother's kids, and it was gonna be like a barbecue type thing. So we were like, yeah, we'll come, you know. They live right down the road. It was chill. We walk in, and it is about 20 people, business casual, in this apartment, which didn't have a backyard, so how was it going to be a barbecue? That should have been the first red flag. And a whiteboard in the middle. Always with the whiteboards, I learned. So we're just like, oh, this is awkward, because I'm in just like a flowy dress and like a bandana in my hair, and everyone else is in suits, so we're like, okay. So the people that we knew came up, and they're like, oh, introducing us to people. And there's this guy that looks almost exactly like my boyfriend. Like, same build, tattoos, all this. So we're like, okay. And then the guy was like, "I think you guys would really get along. Why don't you guys like hang out and talk?" So we start talking, and they both play football. They both, you know, basically same exact person, different fonts. So then after a little bit of chit chat, they say that they want to do a presentation, which I thought was weird. And I had already kind of gotten like weird feelings, like, this is kind of weird, before I left. So I told my sister, I was like, "I'm gonna text you if I need you to have an emergency, and then you can get me out of it." I left my purse on the bar stool at the front door with my phone in it. So then I couldn't even text her. I didn't even grab my purse. I was so dumb. They do this whole like presentation about Amway, which is basically like drop shipping in a way. It was the dumbest thing I've ever heard, and we were just stuck in it. And I was giving smart ass answers whenever they were like asking us questions. They were asking us questions like, "How much do you spend on like shampoo and cleaning products a month?" And I was like, like $40, if that. And he's like, "Oh, no, you're probably just not doing the math right. It's probably adding up, you not noticing. It's probably somewhere like $200. And I was like, in no way am I spending that much money. And they were like, because that's how much the drop shipping, I don't know, it was working out. Like, they were BSing the whole thing, basically. They had this weird obsession the entire time with the founder or whoever it was. I don't know. But it was like, damn, you want to kiss him on the lips or something? I don't know why you're trying to make me want to kiss him on the lips. I don't care about this guy. They're talking about how he's such a great guy and he's, you know, the best person on earth. And then they started telling us stories about their personal experiences with him. And his own son was like, you know, it's so funny that I would go to school and he would be at home and he would look up cheat codes on Madden so that he would beat me and I would get so mad. And he just kept on doing that. And I'm like, yeah, he sounds like a stellar guy. Well, anyways, they go through this whole PowerPoint thing. It was the weirdest thing ever. And then they start talking about how we need to sign up and if we can be our own boss and we can make so much money if only we had. Basically, they wanted us to buy these products and then our friends and family buy their products from us, like their shampoo and I don't know, like they had energy drinks and granola bars. And I'm like, I'm not having my parents shop for me. No, that's weird. And then my boyfriend and I were on the same, you know, wavelength. We were like, what the hell? But at the very end, they're doing samples and they're pouring these energy drinks into these little cups on a tray for everybody to take one and drink. And I'm like, this is like a sipping the Kool-Aid type of moment. You know what I mean? Well, anyways, they tried to recruit us and we're like, Don't think so. So then we go back and we Google it because I was like, why are all these people from New York? So I was looking into it. It got banned in New York because their products cause cancer, you know. Florida's not strict like that. So I was like, all of these people are moving down here so that they can continue on with their little MLM. But then we were like, okay, whatever. So my boyfriend found some of the people that were there on Instagram, and he was DMing them, and he's like, hey, just so you know. And the guy that looked exactly like him, he was like, how did y'all meet, by the way? And he said, I was in, I think, the Nike store or something like that. And he walked up to me and he complimented my tattoos. That's another way. They're going to compliment you and you're going to think that they want to be your friend. But don't fall for it. It's an MLM. They're trying to rope you in.
I fell for a pyramid scheme. And they were so slick with it, I didn't even realize that I got. Because it was my own friend. Do you ever think I'm way too smart for that? That would never happen to me. I used to think that too. $300 down the drain. It'd be your own friends. And this story is so embarrassing. So when I was younger, I wasn't allowed to go to parties and I didn't have like hella friends. I got a text to go to a party. I was like, oh my gosh, yes, I want to go. What the heck? I pull up to this dude's house. I get downstairs and there's all these chairs set up, presentation meeting room style. But I didn't even think anything of it. I just sat in one of the chairs. This guy comes in that invited me to the party with his friend. And his friend is like a little bit older than us at the time. And I'm thinking, older people party. And then hella people start showing up. And I'm like, oh, okay, like these are people that I recognize from school. And I'm still not getting any red flags. I'm so naive. I really thought that I was so excited for this party. They start handing drinks out immediately. There's these like orange cans. And I'm like, oh, I ain't seen a Four Loko like this. What? Let me try it. It was not Four Loko. It was an energy drink called Verve. If you've been a victim, please let me know. I open it and I'm like, well, it's not terrible. Like, if this is all they have to drink, I guess. Lame ass party. And they start a whole presentation about how they've made all this money and that you can make money too. And for every person that you get to join, this is like you starting your own business. I'm thinking, yeah, I could start my own business. They were saying like $50 per friend that joins. And at the time, that felt like so much money to me. And I was like, I could get friends to join this for $50. And then if they get friends to join it, then we're all getting rich. I'm falling for this shit. Like, I'm drinking the Kool-Aid. I really am. And then they say, all it takes to join our team? $300. I used to work at the movie theaters, dude. I had no money. But they were so convincing. And it was two of them. And I thought they were my friends. They had invited me to this party. My mom knew his mom. I was like, there's no way this isn't legit. So I joined. Then the box of the energy drinks gets to my house. And my parents are like, mija, ¿qué chingos es esto? And I explained to them that I'm starting my own business. And I'm gonna sell. You know what's crazy? They didn't even tell you to sell the drinks. You just had to buy the drinks. The business was just getting your friends to also start their business. But they never even went over how to sell these drinks. I was so stupid. I was like, I started my own business, but I had to buy this case of like drinks to do it. My parents were like, ay, mija. They explained to me that it was a pyramid scheme. And now I'm crying because I feel so stupid. I feel so got. And I'm like, but they were my friends. Like, why would they tell me to join something? And hella people joined that day, dude. I think almost everyone that was at that party joined their group. We all got. So I was like, there's no way that we could all be this stupid. My parents were like, no, there is, though. I trusted them. But I got, you guys.
I used to be very successful in an MLM you're familiar with. Here's the tea. 3 cars lease. If your team doesn't sell a certain amount per month, you make the difference in the car payment. All of the diamonds, designer purses, and prizes I earned I had to pay taxes on. Paid $13,000 in taxes in the first year. I had postpartum depression after I had my second child seen watching an iPad behind me, and they kicked me out and took my team from me.
Yeah, that's everything.
So it's an MLM?
It is what would be labeled as an MLM, yes.
Okay. I don't think this is something for me personally,
Okay.
But I do appreciate you taking the time to explain it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't think I have any questions or anything. That's just,
Okay.
yeah.
Outstanding.
Okay, cool.
Well, hey, thanks for taking the time.
Yeah, no worries. Good luck with everything and enjoy your week.
Thank you, you as well.
Okay, thanks, bye.
Bye. $360 a month, what would that mean for you right now?
It'd mean I have a little extra money for the month.
There you go. Get to go and have some fun. An extra night out on the town.
Yeah.
And then it's just grow from there and show other people how to do what you just did. And at this point, you've reached the top of the bonus scale. And here in the U.S., it's between $2,500 and $2,700, and it's actually more than that because there are extra bonuses that come along with this. If you hold this for an entire year, so 12 consecutive months, Amway will send you on a all expenses paid trip every single year that you maintain this business to go on. You want to go see Europe, you could have somebody else pay.
Y'all, I'm shook. I'm shook. It happened, y'all. I got unknowingly invited to a MLM recruiting session. So because, I'm trying to expand my film and photography business, trying to get more clients, meet more business owners, I went to a networking event last night. I've been to this particular event different times and, met people, like mostly people I meet are like are in real estate, or they might be lawyers, or I don't know, all kinds of people, right? Met this guy last night. He was an entrepreneur. He was a business owner. And he said that he wanted to invite me the next day to an event. And, last night when he said that, someone else, I had met another man that invited me to something for the Florida Business Commonwealth, which is basically like the state helping small business owners like expand their business and stuff like that. That's like, legit. So I was like, he told me, when I go to that, whatever. And I was like, okay. So that was like some good information that I got. Anyway, last night, so talking to this guy, I should have known that something was totally off with him because he took 30 minutes talking at me about the Israel-Palestine war, pretty much. While I have empathy for everybody involved, I just thought it was very inappropriate and rude to like literally hold me and my cousin hostage talking about this thing, especially when it was a one-way conversation. So he invites me to an event that's supposed to be other entrepreneurs meeting, networking, stuff like that. So I'm like, okay, let me go to this because I'm like, I need to try and go to like 1 to 2 events a week because I'm not going to get clients sitting on my couch. I need to get out there, get my business card, and let people know about my business. I went to it, and pretty much as soon as I got there, I felt like something was off. And like, I would not categorize myself as an introvert, but I'm very much someone who is introverted upon initial like interactions. Like, I do struggle when I go to networking events because I'm just not that guy that goes up to people and it's like, hey, how are you? What are you? Like, I'm just not that guy. But people come up and talk to me. I'm like, very engaged, ask questions, all this kind of stuff. My cousin wasn't able to go, so I get up, I go to this event. I noticed that the guy kept like complimenting me, and like, I thought honestly that he was like interested in me romantically, which I was just like, okay, whatever. Like, welcome to being a woman business owner in the business world. As soon as I go upstairs, I meet him. I get this name tag that's like a red colored name tag. He take my phone number and he walks me inside. And as soon as I get in there, he introduced me to this other person. He hands me off to this lady. This lady just starts talking to me really fast, like, yes, welcome to our office, da-da-da-da-da. This is one of the biggest offices for such and such a company. We are expanding our offices like this. Well, we want this to be our number one hub, da-da-da. I'm just like, hub for what? Like, what are you talking about? And so we're in this office, which is like, it has nothing in there. Like, it's an open office space where like you might see a whole bunch of cubicles or whatever like that. After that, I meet this lady. She hands me off to another lady who's like, hi, how are you? Da-da-da-da-da. You live here? Da-da-da. Just like someone like me, I was like, oh, like, you're fucking scaring the shit out of me. Just like super, super close, super, super. She hands me off to this other lady. It's like, oh my God, so-and-so told me so much about you. Like, that's so amazing. I was like, what could he have said about me? Like, I just met him last night. Like, he doesn't hardly know anything about me. And he spent the whole night talking about Israel and Palestine. And he didn't really talk to me about myself or my business or get intel on it, you know, that or what exactly I do or whatever. So I'm talking to this lady who's just aggressively friendly, which for me doesn't come off very well. And then he's like, oh, I want to, and then he comes up, he's like, oh, I'm going to introduce you to this other lady. I'm like, why? I was like, wait, why? Like, how many people do I have to meet? He's like, oh, you're going to meet everybody tonight. I'm like, dude, like, it was just rapid fire, like, in hindsight, like, trying to get you super invested really fast. All these people, oh my God, this is, you know, the whole thing. And so I'm just like, oh my God, this is like killing me. And so they start flickering the lights. And then, you know, they're like, oh, gather around. So I go and stand in the circle, and this guy comes in, he's just like, yes. And I'm just like, I'm so fucking turned off by this. And I'm like, immediately like, okay, this is an MLM. This is an MLM, and I got suckered into being in this right now. So this guy's just like in the middle talking about, yeah, inflation and prices going up, and aren't you tired, and don't you want financial freedom, and all this kind of bullshit. I'm starting to feel adrenaline. I'm starting to feel the stress. The cortisol is starting to go. Like, if anyone, you know, you're really in tune with your body, you have anxiety, you can feel when the cortisol is starting to go, okay? Then he introduces another guy. The dictionary definition, human embodiment of a snake oil salesman. This guy with slicked hair, expensive tailored suit, tight, you know, comes up with his beard, perfectly trimmed beard, and he's like, hello everybody, how are you doing? And then they're like, yeah, we're doing great. And they're clapping really hard, and they're like, how are you doing? Yeah. And they're like, are you excited to be here? Yeah. Are you excited to be here? Yeah. I'm like, oh my God, dude, it's giving cold. It's giving cold. It's giving cold. Okay. So I'm like, fuck. All right. I got to plan my exit because I can't do this. So he's giving his whole financial freedom spiel, whatever. And it's weird because he's talking to everybody like everybody's new. But now I'm looking back, it's like, that's clearly, everybody's not new. Like, they split us up by name tag color. And so the name tag color that I had was the new recruits, and the blue name tag was old people who worked there. So eventually they split us up, have us go into a room. It's about 12 of us. And I go into the room and I'm like, bro, I can't. I got to get out of here somehow. Like, how do I get out of here? I text my cousin. I'm like, yo, this is an MLM. Like, how the fuck do I get out of here? He's like, no, you need to go now. And I'm like, yeah. So I'm fucking, my stomach is boiling. You know, I'm I'm like, okay, when am I going to make my exit? I'm going to wait till he has a break in his spiel for me to do this. And he's just going and talking, giving his story and talking about why these people are always broke and these people are never broke because they don't want to take the courage, you know, the shit, like the same fucking spiel that they always do. And it's so funny because I'm sitting there, I know what's going on right now. I got my arms crossed, I'm looking at the ceiling, I'm annoyed, I'm like, bro, I need to get out of here, I need to get the fuck out of here. I'm sitting there, and the guy, he's giving his spiel, and he was like, I was like you once. You know, I came to something like this, and I had my arms crossed, and I wasn't looking at the speaker when they were talking, and I was like, I literally just started laughing, because I'm like, okay, this is like his sales thing to like get my attention, like get me clicked in, but I had already checked out at that point, and I actually didn't even care about being rude because I felt like I was manipulated and like tricked into coming to something like this. All right, I'm gonna wait for a break to get the fuck out of here. He never took a break, so I'm just sitting there, and I really realized when I had to go when I heard them motherfuckers in the other room chanting. Okay, chanting, like all, like, bro, it was scary. I was actually scared. I have anxiety, yo. I was like literally scared. I was like, yo, these people are about to like, they're gonna recruit me into their cult, man. Like, they're not gonna let me leave. Like, man, I was so fucking scared. It's so unrelated, but I was listening to something about the whole Cassie and Diddy situation before I came to this event, and the topic of the video was talking about like speaking up for yourself and like standing up for your rights and like you know, valuing your peace and stuff like that. And I had to really tell myself in this moment that my peace is more valuable than being rude to people who clearly are like manipulated me into this. And so I literally just got up, and he's like, all right, if you're gonna leave, can you go out the back way instead of this way? Door was locked. So he's like, all right, you can go. So I just walked out, left. No one stopped me. I know after I probably left, he was probably in there probably talk shit like, listen, everybody's not cut out for this or something like that. But yeah, that was really, really annoying. So if you ever go to a networking event, make sure, and someone invites you to some other shit, make sure you get a flyer, an event notice, some kind of information, okay, before you just show up to some shit. All right. So, because I'm like, how did that get slipped past me? Like, I feel really anxious. I'm trying to like make my anxiety go down, and I'm mad because I'm like, you just wasted my fucking evening over this shit. I got dressed, like, makeup, hair, like, come on now. So anyway, if you guys have had any MLM experiences, please let me know in the comments.